Hello and welcome to week 2 of AC 1110 Accounting Fundamentals. Remember that my contact information is down here. Best way to contact me is generally by email, but we also have the phone number here. We can also visit on the office hours. Office hours, another location. This is time that is not required, but it's carved out for you if you have questions. It is in a question and answer format, so if you go in there, it's not a lecture. So if you have questions, this is time carved out for that. And it's on Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. It is a different phone number to call in there. And if you're able to call in there, then at that time, we can then use some screen share software if we need to work some problems. And we can work through Excel problems in that way. I can share my screen and show you how some of the calculations work. This is really good software to use, both in terms of our school classes as well as in work. We use this at work as well. If you want to use similar software with each other and have groups in an online environment, I recommend doing that. You can go to participants up here and then send each other a Moodle message in that way if you go into there, and then exchange contact information. And you can experiment with different types of software that has screen shareability. For example, Skype has screen shareability, as well as Join.me. I'm sure there's others as well. And I'm not as concerned with the face-to-face communication idea as much as the idea of having different people in the group and being able to share the screen so you can work problems in like an Excel worksheet or show the calculations on the screen. So that's very helpful to do. I'm going to go back over here to Moodle Rooms. Note that most of the assignments will have an instructional video to help with it, to kind of walk you through the assignment. So some of those are going to be on here. I'm trying to move more of them to the YouTube because it seems to work better on different devices. So if you want to go to the YouTube channel directly instead of just going in and out from other locations, you could just go to the YouTube channel here, and this will go down to the charter and then AC 1110. So this is the course that we are in at this time. And if you wanted to, you could just go straight through here and it should give you the information kind of in order. So if you want to watch through that rather than clicking the hyperlinks each time, that might be a bit faster way to go. It might be easier to find on something like a cell phone or a tablet. I'm going to scroll down to the current week that we are in, which of course is week 2 at this time. The format will be much the same as in week 1. Hopefully the format will get used to quickly. We have the objectives, then we're going to have the topics. I'll let you take a look at those. We have the lessons. Basically, we're going to be covering chapter 2 and chapter 3, where our main focus here will be on chapter 2. So we're mainly focused on chapter 2. We started it last time. We're continuing on it this time. And then we're going to continue on chapter 3 next week as well. Then you have your links here. So these links will generally go to that page, that YouTube page again. So if you want to go there directly, it might be easier to do so in that format, or you can click it link by link here. Some of these will be repeated. That's by design. So you're going to want to watch a couple of these again and take a look at it and see if you can pick up anything new, especially when it comes down to the accounting equation and like debits and credits. We want to watch it multiple times because we're kind of memorizing the rules on that. Then everything from the discussion forums on down, this is the work that we have to do. These are the actual assignments. You want to use Moodle Rooms as your check sheet. So we know that most of the work will be done up here in McGraw-Hill's Connect, but not all the work is listed in McGraw-Hill's Connect. So when you're trying to see if you've completed everything, really need to use the Moodle Rooms page. The Moodle Rooms page has everything listed, even though most of the work is done in Connect. Connect has the work that's done in Connect, but not everything is listed because the stuff that's done in Moodle Rooms will not be there. So even though most of the work is in Connect, you want to go through here and just check off that you have done everything on your checklist here. So before we go into that, I want to take a look at the syllabi real quick and just point out my approach to these classes would be that you need to get, I would try your best to get 100% full credit on the discussion forums. They're worth 21% of the grade. You have the most control over that. Try to get full credit on those. Then I would try to get as many points, if not full credit, on the assignments and the homework. I know there's a lot of it, but there's a lot of resources as well, so try not to get any zeros on those. Pick up as many points as you can on those. Then when you go into the quizzes, midterm, and final, you have as big a point cushion total as possible. You have the least control over those, but if you go in there with a lot of points going in, then you got a good advantage on that. Remember that the quizzes are also going to be due on Sunday, so you want to make sure to take them by Sunday. You can't generally make the quizzes up, although you can make up the assignments and the homework late. So keep that in mind. Back to Moodle Rooms, the first thing we have is the discussion forums. Remember, that's 21% of the grade. You want to get full credit on the discussion forums. And in order to do that, we got to get at least 4 posts. That's the minimum. Most people would need more than 4 posts depending on the quality of posts. So discussion forums are a bit different in that they accumulate upward. So we're just going to keep on accumulating points until we get to full credit. Therefore, more posts is probably better than less posts. I would try to get more than the minimum of 4, get like 7 or 8 just to make sure that you pick up the points. Also note that if you have posts that do not add content, they're not going to get you that many points. So when the way to add content is that we need to basically add new information. So if we reply to someone else's post, we need to say more than kind of repeat the other person's post, even though it's nice to repeat the other person's post, but it's not going to pick up a lot of points to do that. We're going to have to put in more information. So obviously I'm going to put in a lot more questions on there, and you can answer those questions. You can ask a new question, but something that's going to add to the content. You can also Google and search for things. If you do copy and paste anything over, make sure that you reference it so that you're not plagiarizing. That's a big deal. And then I would try to paraphrase it in your own words in order to get full credit on a post such as that. All right, then we have the assignments down here. One's in Connect. That one is going to be in Connect. Connect means it's up here, so you're going to go up to Connect, and then we can take a look at this assignment. So we're in week 2. And note the assignment is here. It's in reverse order. You may actually want to do the homeworks before the assignments, but this is the assignment that we just looked at. This is usually the longer one. So this is going to be a longer problem. It could be a intimidating looking problem. This paperclip was going to help you with that assignment. So if you open this paperclip up, it'll give you an Excel worksheet. The Excel worksheet will have a few tabs. The first tab is a tab of videos. So if you click on the videos, it'll show you the videos here. And then you can go to the example tab. This isn't the same problem worked out, but it's a very similar one. So you could go through this example tab, for example, and look at your problem, and the journal entry will be much the same. Meaning, if you look at the problem, it's going to have 3 debits: cash, computer equipment, office equipment, and then crediting capital in the first journal entry. The second journal entry is going to have a debit to prepaid rent and a credit to cash. The third journal entry is going to have computer supplies debit, accounts payable credit. So even though there's a lot of information here, if you just use this worksheet, you can put in a lot of the information, just kind of data entry on that. Then you also have a worksheet over here. You could do your problem in this worksheet if you so choose, but you don't need to turn this in. So it's good practice to work it in that way, but you don't have to turn this in. So you could just kind of use the example to fill in the data. And let me know if you have questions on this one. That's the longer problem. Then we got the Learn Smarts. There should only be about 25 questions in there, so do those. Once you're done, you could go back in and practice for the quiz, but you don't have to. So once you finish 25 questions, make sure you know that you're done and you're practicing after that. Back to Moodle Rooms. This one is going to be in Moodle Rooms, so if you click on this one is one that's not in McGraw-Hill. So you want to go into here you'll see this icon. You want to open up this icon. That'll open up an Excel sheet. So you want to open up this Excel sheet. Now this Excel sheet you actually need to turn in, unlike the last one. If you have enable editing, just enable the editing. And then if you click the videos up here, this will show you exactly how to do this problem. Again, the numbers might be slightly different, but it'll be the exact same format. So you just want to watch this and it'll show you how to complete this worksheet. There's only going to be, A through F of questions here, so it's not as long of a problem. All right, so we're going to go back here. We're going to go back up to the cookie trail. Going to go into the second week here in the cookie trail. Going to scroll back down. Then we have the assignments. The homeworks are down here. So remember, the homeworks are going to be the Learn Smarts. Those are in Connect up here. These are these two. So those are listed down here. And then we've got the quiz. Of course, that's in Connect as well. That's this one. So we're just listing those out in Moodle Rooms. So I'm going to take a look at the gradebook real quick. So I'm going to scroll up gradebook, left-hand side. So remember that the gradebook will be updated by Tuesday, hopefully Tuesday afternoon following the close of the week. So for example, week 1 will close on Sunday, and then by Monday or Tuesday, by Tuesday, I'll have the grades populated, meaning the grades from McGraw-Hill and in Moodle Rooms would then be populated in here. So that what'll happen is you want to have an idea of exactly what this should look like, and then I'll go in here and update it, and you want to match it and make sure that it looks like exactly how you thought it would, and then ask me if there's any questions, any differences. So for example, the discussion forum will have hopefully 100% here. The quizzes will be whatever you got on the quiz in McGraw-Hill. Then we'll have the assignment will populate, the homework will populate. If you have a 0 in these areas, that means you didn't do it, or ask me a question if you think you did do it, and then you can try to pick up the late work on that. Remember, you can't generally do the late work on the quiz unless there's an unusual circumstance. Can do late work on the homework and the assignment. So you want to do the late work, and then at the end of week 2 will close on Sunday at the end of the week. I will then get the grades updated again by Tuesday, and that will include week 2's information plus late work for week 1. So once you do the late work for week 1, it may not be completely updated until the end of week 2. And so just keep that in mind. It won't populate in here automatically. It will populate in McGraw-Hill's Connect when you do it, and you just want to track it and make sure that you know what you have done, and then check this one every Tuesday. And that's it for week 2, so have a great week 2.